Welcome to this long-form analysis of the AppSumo review article published at yamuparkody.com/AppSumo reviews. In this video, we are not treating the article as a simple yes or no recommendation. We are treating it as a buyer decision document. That means we will look at what the article does well, where it gives useful guidance, where it needs stronger proof, and how a careful buyer should use it before spending money on an offer. The title, AppSumo Reviews, tells us something important right away. This is not casual reading. It is written for someone who is already thinking about a purchase, already comparing options, or already wondering whether a deal is worth attention. When an article meets a reader at that stage, it has responsibility. It should be clear, practical, and balanced. It should help the reader understand the promise, the risks, the trade-offs, and the next step. The useful way to read this kind of review is not to ask, "Does this sound positive?" Most reviews sound positive. The more useful question is, does this article help me make a better decision? If the answer is yes, it should clarify the product, the intended user, the likely benefit, the limits, and the evidence behind the claims. Let us begin with the core promise. AppSumo-style offers usually appeal to one strong desire: leverage. Buyers want to save time, reduce uncertainty, and get a working result faster than they could by building a process from scratch. That might mean software, templates, training, automation, marketing help, operations support, or another practical business outcome. The article presents the reviewed offer as something that can make work easier and help the buyer move faster. That is a strong promise because it speaks to a real pain point. Many people who browse deals are not just looking for a low price. They are looking for a shortcut that feels intelligent. They want the feeling of buying a useful advantage before the opportunity disappears. But this is exactly where the buyer should slow down. A shortcut is valuable only when it takes you somewhere you actually need to go. If the product solves a problem you do not currently have, the discount is not the main issue. The main issue is attention cost. You may spend time learning, configuring, testing, and managing a tool that never becomes part of your work. So the first decision question is simple. What specific workflow would this product improve for you this month? If you cannot answer that in one sentence, the article can still be informative, but the purchase case is weak. Now, what does the article explain well? Its biggest strength is accessibility. It uses a straightforward review structure. It introduces the topic, explains the value proposition, lists positives and concerns, and guides the reader toward a conclusion. For beginners, that is helpful. A beginner often needs orientation before they need deep technical proof. Readable structure matters because buying decisions become harder when information is scattered. A clean review gives the reader a path. First, understand the product. Second, understand the benefit. Third, check the drawbacks. Fourth, compare the offer to your own needs. Fifth, decide whether to investigate further. That is the article's most useful role. It gives a first-pass map. It is not the whole territory, but it helps the reader know where to look next. A practical review does not need to be perfect to be useful. It needs to reduce confusion and help the reader ask sharper questions. The next part of the analysis is evidence. This is where many affiliate-style reviews need pressure. A review may include success stories, encouraging statements, user feedback, or impressive claims. Those signals can be meaningful, but they are not automatically proof. Testimonials are selective by nature. A happy user quote tells us that success is possible, but it does not tell us how common that success is. It does not tell us what happened to users who struggled. It does not tell us whether the quoted result came from the product alone, or from the user's prior experience, budget, niche, timing, or effort. So a careful buyer should ask, does the article show independent evidence? Does it link to recent comments, outside review platforms, product documentation, change logs, refund terms, or real usage examples? Does it explain the conditions under which the product works best? If a review says users get better outcomes, ask better than what? If it says the process is easier, ask easier for whom? If it says the product saves time, ask how much time, after what setup period, and for which type of user? This does not mean the review is bad. It means the review should be treated as a signal, not a verdict. The article can point you toward possible value, but the decision becomes stronger when you verify claims outside the article. Pricing is another important layer. AppSumo deals often emphasize discount, urgency, and lifetime access. Those can be attractive, but price is not the same as value. A cheap tool that never enters your workflow is expensive in a quiet way. It costs attention, setup time, mental clutter, and sometimes opportunity. A useful buyer analysis compares the offer against at least 4 things. First, the normal price of the product or service. Second, competing alternatives. Third, free or lower cost ways to solve the same problem. Fourth, the cost of doing nothing. The fourth comparison is often ignored. Sometimes doing nothing is not laziness. It is wisdom. If the problem is not urgent, or if your current process is good enough, waiting may be the correct choice. On the other hand, if the product removes a real bottleneck, even a higher price can be justified. The decision should be based on expected use, not discount size. Ask whether you would still care about the product if the countdown timer disappeared. Ask whether you would use it in the next 30 days. Ask whether it replaces something you already pay for, improves a recurring task, or unlocks a result you are actively pursuing. Now let us talk about who should pay attention to this kind of article. It is especially useful for beginners, solo operators, freelancers, creators, and small business owners who need a plain language overview before doing deeper research. Those readers benefit from a guided explanation because they may not yet know which details matter. For advanced buyers, the standard is higher. A team purchasing software may need security information, data ownership terms, export rules, integrations, support quality, uptime expectations, collaboration features, seat limits, and roadmap reliability. A general review usually cannot answer all of those questions. That means the article is best used early in the decision process. It helps with orientation. It can help you decide whether a product deserves more research. But it should not replace vendor documentation, current marketplace comments, hands-on testing, or independent feedback. Next, let us name the red flags worth checking before buying. First, verify that the deal terms are current. AppSumo style offers can change. The price, included features, limits, refund window, and license rules may not be the same forever. Always confirm on the live offer page before checkout. Second, check product support. A product can look excellent in a review and still become frustrating if support is slow, unclear, or inconsistent. Recent comments often reveal whether users are getting help. Third, check limitations. Usage caps, export restrictions, seat limits, branding rules, integration constraints, or missing features can turn a good deal into a poor fit. These details are rarely as exciting as the headline benefit, but they matter more after purchase. Fourth, check maintenance. Is the product actively updated? Are bugs fixed? Is there a changelog? Does the company communicate? Lifetime style deals can be excellent, but only if the product keeps living after the campaign. Now we can turn the article into a practical decision framework. Use 5 checkpoints. Checkpoint 1, problem fit. Can you name the real problem this product solves for you now? If not, wait. Checkpoint 2, proof. Do you see evidence beyond the review itself? Independent comments, recent examples, and documentation all strengthen the case. Checkpoint 3, usability. Can you realistically adopt the product with your current skills, schedule, and workflow? Checkpoint 4, cost. Does the price make sense compared with alternatives and the time required to use it well? Checkpoint 5, risk. Are the refund policy, support expectations, and product limits acceptable? If the answer is yes across most of those checkpoints, the article supports a trial or purchase. If several answers are unclear, the next step is research, not checkout. So what is the final analysis? The article is useful as a readable review and a buyer orientation tool. Its strength is clarity. It makes the topic approachable and gives the reader a simple path through the decision. Its limitation is that a final purchase decision still needs current verification and independent evidence. That is a fair role for a review. A review does not have to make the full decision for you. In fact, it should not. The best review helps you think better. It helps you notice what matters. It helps you compare the offer against your own situation. The final takeaway is this. If the article pulled you in because you are considering an AppSumo deal, use it as a research companion. Read it for orientation. Extract the claimed benefits. Note the cautions. Then verify the live deal terms, check recent user feedback, and decide based on your current use case. Do not buy because the deal looks exciting. Do not reject it just because it is promotional. Make the review serve your decision. If the product solves a current problem, has credible proof, fits your workflow, and carries acceptable risk, it may be worth testing. If it only solves a future maybe, keep your budget and your attention available. That is the strongest way to use an AppSumo review, not as permission to buy, but as a structured prompt to investigate, compare, and choose deliberately.